Okay, so this is a little promo video for Global Patriot Mission Coaching, the service, not to be confused with Global Patriot Mission Coaching, the Rumble page, or Global Patriot Mission Coaching, the resource blog, although they're all interrelated. So the resource blog is extropicesoterica.com/GPMC, and of course I'll link it in this little video. And most of you will be on my website if you're seeing this video anyway. So you can just sort of click on the GPMC tab. And that is just a blog of free resources for you all to use for various types of movements and even general resources that could apply to multiple movements, multiple types of activist campaigns. And so those are just free resources for you to use. You don't ever have to meet me or book me or engage with me to use them. So enjoy, and you're welcome. And then the GPMC Rumble page is in part where I talk about topical issues from the perspective of applying them toward activist movement. And it is in part where I do a little bit of skill sharing and showcasing of my perspective as pertains to activism and what we're doing here versus what we could be doing here, that kind of thing. So that is in and of itself kind of a free resource as well. And it sort of, helps you to sort of elevate your perspective on activism and on the challenges that face us now. And so you're welcome for that too. But GPMC, the service, Global Patriot Mission Coaching, the service, is about tailoring this perspective to your needs and to your activist campaign, whether you are an individual activist or an organization. And so when you book us for GPMC, we talk about what is your mission, what is the history of your project and your campaign, what has been going right and what has been going wrong, why do you feel that you need some consultation here, like what are you actually looking for from this process of bringing me in to sort of help you refine your approaches, et cetera, et cetera. And we sort of tailor a plan, a personal progress plan, based on your needs using my PPP document. And so what we do there is we sort of like what I would say I specialize in is helping to make your organization stronger and more sustainable and helping to make your campaigns more impactful. I especially like bringing creativity into activism and bringing sort of that sort of flair for artistry into the process. I especially like doing things like alerting you to the human resources side of activism, so like helping you think about if you are a leader of an organization, who do I have at my disposal, and what do they really have to offer me? Can you see past your own nose, so to speak, in order to really get an idea of how to best harness the potential of the people involved? What's motivating your group members to be involved, and how can you help to incentivize them by playing to their intrinsic motivations for showing up? That kind of thing. How can you cultivate yourself as a leader, knowing both your strengths and your weaknesses? And then surround yourself with people who supplement your weaknesses and amplify your strengths. These are all things that activists need to be thinking about. What is the current paradigm of 21st century activism? What are we up against? And how can we increase our perspective, increase our toolkit in order to meet the challenges of the present? These are the types of things that I specialize in. Now, there are some things to consider in terms of campaigns that I'm not interested in working with. So I'm not interested in working with anything that promotes genocide. So like if your goal is depopulating this group of humans or this group of humans or all group of humans, then you can continue on elsewhere and find somebody else to work with. I'm also not interested in organizations that promote hatred and division, So that doesn't mean that all identitarian movements are off the table. For example, I've done some deep dives into Black nationalism and white nationalism as movements. And within both of those spheres, I have observed people that are not hate-filled, that are just looking to secure some kind of sovereignty for the people that they're looking out for, without preaching hatred or violence against or domination against other groups. Being a libertarian, I practice the non-aggression principle. So I'm not looking to assist groups that want to aggress against other groups. And for now, I'm also saying I'm not really interested in people that are going to do like radical tactics. So if you're intending to be like habitually breaking the law, or if you're intending to, and then there is such a thing as civil disobedience, so that's different, But, if you're vandalism, for example, using weaponry, like damaging buildings, damaging property, harming people, like these are like radical type tactics that are outside of the vision of what I see as productive for this time period. That could change if things get drastically worse. But my goal as an activist coach is to make you so successful to where you don't need to resort to those tactics to begin with. So, so we look into how do you market your campaign? How do you get exposure? How do you go beyond the oppressive structure, because we live in a state of technocratic oppression that is oppressing both left-wing and right-wing groups in terms of getting their messages out. So how do you work around that? How do you spread your message given the shifting environment? That's an important topic for the present period. So a little bit about myself. I am somebody who has decided to be a bridge identity. So I want to help bring left-wing activists and right-wing activists who agree on a lot of things, which that is increasingly the case as our elite classes are trespassing against us in worse and worse and more obvious ways. There are a lot of right-wing people who are not the same level of colonized by the corporate mentality as they used to. There's a lot of left-wing people that are not so much wedded to the idea of everything has to go through the government as they used to be. So everybody's agreeing, from my perspective, listening very widely to a lot of different political movements. People are agreeing more than they realize. They're just using different language to discuss their perspectives on the things that they're actually agreeing on. And of course, a lot of people are still subject to that tribalist thinking to where they don't want to listen to people of different tribes precisely because they've been programmed not to, right? And programmed to see other poor and oppressed people as their enemy. And that's what the system wants from you. So I have sort of offered myself as that bridge identity between the left and the right to sort of help have these conversations together. And me being founder and president of the Save the Vaxxed movement, my organization is politically diverse. So I have people of all political walks in my organization. And that's not always going to be the case for everyone, and it doesn't have to be the case for you either. But I am interested in working with people from all sides of the political spectrum within those certain limitations. No hatred, no genocide, no aggression, and no radicalism. And I discuss that to greater depth in the brochures. So if you think you are a borderline thing, if you think that you may or may not be included within that, my space of what I'm not interested in working on, there may be some cases where a brief consultation might be in order. So feel free to email. My email address is in the description box, as well as in at the bottom of my webpage. So I look forward to meeting some awesome world changers through this. I look forward to helping to empower you to be more effective at your campaigns and more effective at organizing and running your organization. And I wish you all the best, because we need all hands on deck now. Things are getting things are escalating very rapidly. So we need as many people out there doing the good work and fighting the good fight as we can. And so thank you for listening, and I hope to get to meet you soon. Take care.